Okay, long time no update, my friends. So this time we are going to talk about the virtual, ISPTIC version 2.5 for the year 2025. I think this is the first update for this year. Okay, so there are some inclusions. So it's like before, just open VirtualBox for the PC base. If you haven't imported it yet, just click File and then Import Appliance and then browse the respective version. So the latest version is version 2.5. It's here. Okay, since I have my version 2.5, I will select it and then click Start. And then it will take some time to load up or powering up. Okay, so we have included actually, or we will try to include to set up the PPPoE payment reminder using web proxy and then some firewall NAT rules. But basically, these are the inclusion of the PPPoE payment reminder is basically using the web proxy uh, as for version 7 point and up. So this is actually applicable for ROS 7 and up. Okay? So for version 3 point something, I think this is not gonna be available or 6 point something. Okay, so anyways, so our machine is now uh, currently loading necessary services, libraries. By the way, this is Ubuntu server. I think this is the LTS or the legacy version, long-term support, 22.04.1. Okay, so we have actually respin or redistribute. Okay, so there you go, Ubuntu 22.04. So the latest is 24, but we managed to update some necessary packages for the Ubuntu distribution since this is LTS version. Okay, so you can see this is LTS long-term support until 2027 or 2020. Anyway, so just minimize this one. No need to log in because some of you are still asking for the login. There's no need to log in here, my friends. Just minimize this one and head to your browser and then hit this address. Localhost colon 80 8180 or basically like that. Okay, so this is the login. So we'll now try to activate the software. By the way, the default login is ISPTIC and then admin. Okay, so you have your main router. So ISPTIC and then the password is admin. Okay, but then as of version 1 point something, we are not actually allowed to enter the dashboard or the web app without activating first the software. Without activating the software first. Okay, sorry. So we need to activate. Okay, so let's try to activate. We have our license here. So let's copy this one and then just control V because we have disabled the context menu for the HTML and JavaScript. So activate and then put your email. So and then redirect to login. So just put your email and then activate Okay, since we have logged in, so it is now activated. Okay, so we are now being asked for our microtech. So our microtech, the address is this one, 192.168.7.100. Okay, so let's just copy it. So in your case, it may be different. Just try to identify the IP address of your microtech and make sure to open this uh, web app from the network or from the gateway you have activated. Okay, so the port is the same. So let's check our IP services for the API. So it's 728 at 8728. Okay, so and then just make uh, create or use a valid uh, system user for your microtech. Okay, make sure it has full access or full privilege. Okay, so if that's good, hit save. So if successful, you will be redirected to the dashboard microtech page, and then it will display the router board, the model and the version, and the pre-memory, and then the uptime. So not yet. So the first thing to do is you will notice that our one interface traffic is not displaying graph, real-time graph. So what we need to do is set up the essentials. So I put this top to bottom approach. So you need to set up microtech, you need to set up subscription, you need to set up providers, you need to set up business, you need to set up materials, clients, modems, and PPP, etc. So for the first two, these are really important, microtech and then the subscriptions. So let's head to microtech. Although we do now know uh, our mm, we do now know our microtech address, and then we have also our username. Then we will need to edit. So this one is good, the port is good, and then we will need to edit our main source for our internet. Okay, so if you will also check on the logs, so there you go, there is a log for our user when before, so API login. Okay, so there is an activity. So okay, so let's go back to dashboard to check if the connection is good. So once you see this numbers or bytes packets in out or the upload and download, you're good to go. And then as long as it can display or read the PPPUA active users and then the hotspot users, then you're good to go. Okay? So from this on, you are now good to go, and then your ISP tech now is fully configured to work with your microtech. Of course, using the account. So once we go back to the microtech dashboard, it will now display the real-time traffic of our selected one interface, which in our case, it was Ethernet 1. Okay, so there you go. So now, so back to essentials. So we need to configure the subscription. Actually, the subscription is basically for PPP profiles, DCP server, and the hotspot to be used for our clients. Because the billing system supports not only PPPoE, but ultimately this is optimized for PPUE. Aside from PPPoE, it also supports DHCP integration, the classic DHCP client approach of setting your clients, and then of course the hotspot. Okay, set up. So just click on PPPP profiles. So basically what this does is it reads the existing uh, PPP profiles from your microtech. So if you will notice that plan, okay, so it is the same here from your profiles. Plan 299, plan 399, etc. and so on. Okay, so there you go. That is the idea. So your ISPTIC now can read your microtext, some of your microtext informations like DPPPP, triple POE profiles. Now, what we will do is we will try to bind these profiles from your microtext to our billing system. So notice that we will add these profiles to our microtech ISPTech billing system. So profile name is preloaded. We will just need the price. So for plan 299, of course, you have 299 save. And then for the plan 499, of course, 499. For the plan 999, save. Just make sure to set all the profiles, triple POE profiles, bind to your microtech or to your ISPTIC billing system before importing the PPPoE secrets from your microtech, because this is needed. Okay, so plan 599. Okay, so there you go. So as easy as that. So never mind these two, this default and default encryption. So once you click your subscription, okay, so you have now your subscription. So basically these are PPPoE connection. So if you want also hotspot, so you can also bind hotspot, for example, for this one. So just the same idea. But for now, we will try triple POE setup. Okay, so the pricing is good, everything's fine. So okay, so now that we have plans, we have subscriptions, we have profiles. So let's go back to essentials again. So basically, we are now done with Microtech. We are now done with subscriptions. So if you have an existing PPPoE, which in my case I have uh, a couple of PPPoE clients, as you can see, I have 7, I think, or 8. Okay, so I have 8. Now we can directly go to PPPoE to automate the importation. Okay, although we can create clients manually by adding it here on the clients section. But since we have already clients from our microtech, which is this one. So we'll now try to implement the one-click import. So the idea of the billing system is actually every end of the month there should be a billing. So it is prorated no matter what. Every billing period is set to be every end of the month. Okay, so that less headache if some scenarios happen. So this is basically proven effective way of managing for a less headache billing process. So anyway, so head to PPUE. Like I said, you can directly head to PPUE section, and then you can all actually check the active since your ISPTIC is now connected to your microtech. So these are all the active. You can actually delete that delete from the active, but not from the secret. So here we go. So your ISP can now read uh, the list or the entire PPPoE client list from your secrets based from here. Okay. So what we will need to do is we will import your Microtech PPPoE clients to your billing system. Okay. So for smooth and easy integration, just click import. Okay. And then make sure that the starting or the date import is set to the beginning of the month, no matter what. Set to the beginning of the month. Okay, so that uh, if you are if you have existing clients or billing system, you can actually implement ISPTech Microtech billing system at least for the month of July 2025. Okay, so that's the case. If you're good with that, just click proceed to do the importing. Okay, it will take some time depending on the number of uh, clients. So once it is imported, it will not appear anymore from the PPP secrets. It's because it is now present inside the database of our billing system. So it carries the username and then the password and then the plan profile respective, at least for the PPPoE. At the same time, this PPPoE listing is actually bind or related to your clients. Okay? So this is the clients. So basically the name is same as the PPPoE name, username. And then you can actually now edit the address and then the actual name of the person. So in my case, I usually make that DNS hostname style. So this is Esteban. Okay. So just yun. So address PH and then PPPoE and then NAP location if you have multiple NAPs. So in my case, I have only a single P2P, so it is connected to it. Okay, but still you can still edit the date installed here. So new modem because one-click import is implemented, but for manual input from clients, this will ask for modem or Wi-Fi router, customer premises equipment, etc. So save. So you have now your client. So at first time, if you have somewhat hundreds of thousands, this is gonna be tedious. So anyway, just hire someone to input, not input, but edit the respective names of these clients or your PPPoE users. Okay, so it's looking good now. So just an example. Okay, now what is missing is the PPPoE payment reminder. Okay, so basically it is just a change profile mechanism. So now we will head again to our Microtech. Okay, let's go back to our Microtech and then let us click this cog or gear for a one-click uh, PPPoE payment reminder configuration. So this is actually the wizard. Okay, so make sure that the username you have entered here is full or has a privilege of full access. Okay, so click on the green button and then we have actually predefined settings for your convenience, but you can actually change this one according to your preferences if you only know how to do so. Okay, do it at your own discretion or risk. But anyway, these are just predefined uh, settings. So this is actually the local address or the gateway of the what is this? The PPPoE past due or disconnected clients. So what we'll do is we can't save it yet. It is it is asking for name or the name is required. So in my case, I will just name this as past due. Okay. So past due or anything like disconnected, something like that. Okay. Disconnected or basically uh, non-payment, etc. But let's make it past due. Okay, past due accounts or non-payment. So if you are amenable with these addresses, you can actually modify if you know how networking works. So basically, these are all related. This is the gateway. This is the address list expressed on CIDR. So this is gonna be this will be written inside your IP firewall address list, and this gonna be the local address for your IP profile. Okay, so this is the local address, and this is the IP range pool, and this will be written to IP pool in this range. Okay, and then this is the rate limit. This is the rate limit for your PPPoE profile past due profile. And then this is the port for the IP proxy. You can actually make this one 50-50 or something like 90-90. Okay. So 50-50, uh, somewhat, let's try making it 90-90. Okay. Or triple eight. Okay. So basically anything that your microtech is not utilizing, that you think that port is not utilizing. So let's make it 90-90. So past due is the name of the PPPoE profile. So once you are amenable with that, you can actually extend this one if you want something like /16, and then you would uh, change this one to support more addresses. So for /24, I think you have something like 200 plus 253 IP addresses for your disconnected clients. Okay, for small time, I think 250 is gonna be sufficient, but for a big time company or ISP, full-fledged ISP distributor, I think you have to adjust the specific. Anyway, you can always reconfigure or adjust later on from your microtech, because this one will be this script wizard will just do the complex or heavy lifting for the setup. So later on, we will also try to hit the winbox for the error.html file. Okay? So I think that was too much talk. So basically, it will ask for the profile for the non-payment, and then the port. We just set the port, and then everything else is okay. So basically, this predefined setting supports 200 plus PPPoE disconnected clients, etc. Okay, so if you're good with that, click configure. Okay, so it will display a message. PPPoE payment reminder successfully configured. You can now manually adjust settings from Winbox if needed. Okay, so let us check. Web proxy, so 1990, uh, just what we have decided. The proxy is now running. And then for the PPP profile, so profiles, you have now past due. This is the local address or the gateway address. And then for the IP pool, we have also this one, past due. Okay, and then for our IP firewall address list, we have now past due. For our NAT rules, we have also this one. So let's move it below the masquerade for the NAT. So this is the redirection. And then for the DNS, IP, DNS, static, we have also past due that portal. Okay. The same way, IP, web proxy, general, it is running, enabled, and then for the access, we have now our access settings, allow, and then for our portal, password of portal 1919. Okay? Okay, so it's good. So now, the moment of truth, let's try to, oh, not yet. So after setting up the PPPoE reminder, we need to go back to our subscription. So basically, these are the three key components to setting up the billing system: MikroTik, subscriptions, and then PPPoE. So let's go back to subscription and then PPPoE profiles. So we will now bind the newly created past due profile for our PPPoE clients. So past due, and then the price is set to 0, and then the speed is 256K. It's actually a connection, but still a connection for internet, but it's unbearable, so much too slow. Okay, so past due set to 0. Okay, so let us check if it's available. Okay, so you have now your past due, PPPoE, and then okay, subscribers. So we have now plan 399, we have 7 subscribers. For our plan 999, we have 2 subscribers. Okay, so now the how about the integration? Okay, so you will now ask for the integration. So just take a look at this one. Okay, so active, all of these are active. Okay, so active. So to disconnect a particular client, you need to head to its corresponding PPPoE. Let's say, for example, we need to disconnect this one for a non-payment, or we need to uh, remind him that for his non-payment. So we will need to go to PPPoE and then look for that corresponding name. So let's say, for example, this one. Okay, so just click the pencil or the edit button, and then profile. To disconnect or to have the payment reminder working, just move him or her to past due profile. Okay, so save. Okay, successfully updated. And then once you take a look at the business clients, it is now disconnected. He or she is now disconnected. So monthly fee is 0. And then if we will take a look at our Microtech log, okay, so we have now this one. It is now disconnected, and then we will wait for some time to for the Wi-Fi router or the Wi-Fi modem to reconnect and to obtain a new address, but this time not from the PPPoE standard pool, but from the past due. Okay, let's take a look at active connections. So it's not yet going online. So for the sake of demonstration, let's wait for the modem to reconnect. Okay, so let's check. So we are now, we know now that it is disconnected. It's not on the interface anymore. Okay, and then if we try to look at this one, these are all the addresses for our standard PPPoE. And then for our profiles, past due, it should have, once the client set to past due profile comes again, it will now have an address uh, using this, within this range. Okay, it will now obtain an address within this range. So 20 020 to 2254. So let us wait. Okay, so disconnected. So it's not going. Let's wait, and then let's try to see. 31 minutes. So just bear with me. 31 minutes is gonna be enough. Okay, so terminating. Why it's not reconnecting? Okay, so I think we need to. Yun, there you go. So authenticated and then connected, but if you will take a look at the address, it is now it is now using the address from our address list of past due clients. So the standard PPP pool is 172, and then our disconnected is now here 20.0. Okay. So let's check. So actually we have it here. The modem is actually this one for demonstration purposes. Okay. So redirect, you are redirecting. Now if you will take a look at that, it is now redirecting to portal. So we are connected but actions needed. It is something like portal. So once we open this one, we will now be redirected to pastdue.portal 1990. So our PP payment reminder is now working. But not just yet. This is my personal PPPoE. The next thing you would do after setting up the PPPoE, I think we have jumped into conclusion again. Okay? After we set up our PP payment reminder, there is the template. So this is the template and this is the code. So just click on the box and then Control A, Control C, and then open something like Sublime or Notepad++, paste that, and then edit according to your preferences. Okay, so your payment uh, mobile wallet contacts information, and then your company, anything. So basically this is what I can give. So the templates, and then basically the, so once you edit according to your preferences, just save it as, okay, so error, so save it error dot html. Okay, save it. So we'll now have error.html, and then head to your winbox, and then head to your winbox, and then file, and then look for web proxy, and then replace this one or override. So with proxy, so since I am using hex, it has flash folder. It is not inside the root directory, but depending on your router, it could be RV4011, etc. Uh, After editing the error.html, this one, according to your information, your company, okay, you will need to overwrite this one. So delete and then just drag the newly edited uh, error.html for your web proxy or the payment reminder. Okay? So that's it. You're good to go. Right? So actually the 256 key speed still is an internet connection, but it's unbearable. Okay? So and then it will automatically pop up if the connect to the if the connect via Wi-Fi through the router. It will automatically pop up on their devices this kind of sign in required. Okay. Okay, so that, my friends, is the PPPoE profile, payment reminder, and then the activation and the importing of clients. So I have also included this one from, so instead of IoT we make it like Micmon. So the password is Micmon. That the user login is username Micmon. The password is 1234. Basically the default for Micmon. And then version 3 we have also version 4. Okay? So just the same Micmon 1234. So tools. So if you have it your way, if you like Micmon, you can use Micmon within the web server of your ISPT. Okay? So system. So you're good to go. Traffic is reading. PP active users. Okay, so disconnected. We have one disconnected. Clients 8, etc. Basically, that's it. Was it? Okay. Clients disconnected. So basically, it's active clients minus disconnected. So basically, that's it. So we have hotspot users. So let's check. And then you can also set the API remote for the email. There is a tutorial here. Just follow this one, how to set up less secure apps alternative for the SMS. I don't know if Twilio is still working, but we managed to make it work previously on our ISPT. And then for your remote, just create a Zeroter account and then paste the network ID and then click save, and then once connected, once authorized from your Zeroter console, it will now display the status and then it will obtain IP address. Okay, so basically that's it. So for the billing, okay, for the billing, so let's try to hit the billing. So if in case I would like to bill, so from July 1 to 31, so July 2025, so new billings created with this amount. If we will try to print, okay, so this is the billing, and then you can also send this from your contact list, which is now 0. So email addresses, this is perfectly working fine for the email address. This is my way of sending internet bill to my clients. But of course, you need to set up the this one. You need to follow this tutorial on how to set up less secure app alternative. I guess this is the term previously for integrating automated email by a third party like PHP Mailer. So, but now I think Google has updated their less secure app. So this is now the alternative. just click this link and it will redirect you to tutorial on how to do so. Okay? So anyway, no need for, I think there's no need for sending billing. It's because, although it's a good to know for formality, it's a good thing to do for formality, but we have actually tried to solve delinquency for our client using the this one, the payment reminder portal. Okay, so let's log out. Actually, here it what it looks. Uh, Here it what it looks. So I just need to connect to my Wi-Fi because the internet is slow because I connected to, okay, so I'm on 5G, so refresh. So okay, so this is my, so this is what it look like. Okay, that is what it look like now, the ISPTIC. So this is the main dashboard, redefined, redesigned, and this is the Microtech dashboard for the graph interface. Okay, so if you will notice in the Microtech, once the payment portal is set up, it will not appear anymore. Okay, so what will appear is the payment reminder code template. Okay, I hope everything is clear. Okay, I hope everything is clear. So for your references, just repeat this video if you are not familiar with something. Just repeat this video for your reference. Okay, thank you and God bless.